Thank you.
Menno Van Meer.
Yes.
Yeah. We're really happy that you like to join us in this little interview, and it's going to be about your World Championship participation. So tell us a little bit about yourself. I already said your name, but how old are you?
I am 28. I live in a very small village close to Breda in the south of the Netherlands. It's like a farmer village. There's only living like 900 people there. But I grew up there, and I grew up with small mopeds, and then started with little MX bikes, actually, motocross. And this is how I started with riding bikes. And actually it was a funny story, because we live like close to a highway, and right there we have they were building industrial terrain, but it was not finished by that time. So you can hear the sound of motorbikes, and one day they lost me, and I had a little bicycle, and I was there. They found me watching the motorcycles, and from then on I only wanted the motorcycle. So
when did you get your first bike? Motorbike?
When I was 8.
8 years.
Yes.
So did it start with MX bikes or?
Yes, a small MX bike, and actually I did motocross for like 15 years, I think. And then I started my own company, and also Corona came. And in the meanwhile, there was Rotterdam Dirt Ride, and they did a motocross thing and a flat track thing. And because I won the motocross thing event, they asked me to do the flat track event, but I never did flat track before, so I didn't have the bike or the tires or whatever, so I could borrow a bike. And actually I beat Michael Dijkstra there on a bike that was not mine, but it was almost compared to motocross because of the sand was not clay or gravel or hard pack. So, and that's how it started rolling into flat track, actually.
So when was this? In
2020.
2020. So you have been doing this for 3 years now.
Actually 2.
2 years.
Because in 21 I built my first Harley Davidson, the 2-stroke I've got with me.
Yeah.
But I didn't really know how to make the suspension or the engine, because I didn't do flat track. And when I was doing this, Michael called me to do a Krowdrace race, and that's how I got on a mixed bike built to a flat track bike, and I raced there, and I won the amateur class. That was my first race, and that was in 2021. And then I thought, let's build a bike now for myself. And so that's how I started, and in 2022 I did my first full season, and also World Championship season. So
you did the championship in 22 as well?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know that.
But that was my first year, and I had a lot of problems with getting there, because I had an old Honda 450 from 2008, and I rebuilt this engine myself, but this engine broke down 4 times in the first half of the year, so that was not a very good preparation. And actually I went with Michael to a training, and the bike broke down again 5 days before the first World Championship race in 2022. So at that point I decided I cannot go with this bike, because this is not working. I cannot build on a bike that breaks down all the time. And then I buy a new 450 from 2022. And in 4 days I swapped it to a flat track bike. So I had Suco suspension behind me to fix the suspension, because it was not easy to build a motocross bike in 4 days complete to a flat track bike. But I never rode that bike before, and then I came on the World Championship. So that's the baddest preparation you can have.
Don't feel any pressure.
No, exactly.
How did it go?
Actually, didn't go very bad, but I put a lot of work and effort in it to make it happen. But still, these guys competing there for years and preparing themselves really good, and I was not good enough prepared. So in my first race I did some heats okay, but you need to be consistent, and I was not consistent because I didn't do flat track for a lot of years. For me it's all new, so I make little mistakes, and that's what cost me to go 3 and 8, for example. But you have to go 3, 3, 3, 3 in the qualifying heats to be good or in the final. So I ended up 21st on my first World Championship race, but I was not satisfied with that, no. So.
No, but still, if you calculate with the start and all the trouble before, it's
but
not bad.
That's what everybody said, but that's not what I am like.
No, you like to win.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Wow. So I had many questions here, like how many years have you been doing flat track and stuff? But you already got that. But the first year ended like that. But I guess you learned a lot from that year.
Yeah.
What did you bring with you until this year?
Well, because everything was actually new, I was riding, for example, on Dunlop tires, because that was the only tires I could easily buy. And I came at the World Championship and I saw everybody on all meters or maxes. So when I was getting better, like in Italy, I ended up second on the podium in my first year because there was a TT race and I came from motocross, so that gave me more confidence than on an oval track. And then I was also competing on the Dunlop tires, and after that everybody was asking me, why do you ride these Dunlop tires? I said, I don't know, it's because it's the only tire I can buy in the Netherlands. And then you learn from these things, I was looking at other riders, looking at the suspension, how everybody is working on everything. And of course I tried to learn from that, from the people who won the World Championship. And of course, I brought that to this year. I started riding on Maxxis tires. I went to Zuko suspension because Zuko, he's a really nice guy and he helped me out. And if I call him, he helps me with adjusting my suspension on every track if I want to. And just trying to put a lot of hours in, also staying fit. I've got my own company as well. So it's not easy because I run the company and train 2 or 3 times a week and also want to do a motor training in a week. So there's a lot of effort to become like a good rider in flat track, because it's all about very small things. But if you have a lot of small things, you make one big thing. So that's what I try to take with me and be consistent this year, more consistent, make no mistakes, try to be relaxed on the bike. Yes, and try to take everything I learned from last year to this year. So my goal was actually finishing the top 10, and that's what I did. Yeah.
So you're pleased?
Yes, but not, how do you say?
Not pleased enough to stop now?
No.
Because so you're going next year?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, let's say 90% sure already, 95%, because I have to look at my sponsors and about the schedules and where we go with the races, but I think yes. Yeah,
but I mean, that's also a question I have, because everyone who does racing know that it's costs a lot.
Yes.
And especially if you want to get it on a higher level, you need better stuff, but more time to practice,
exactly.
like you're running an own company, but still you need to do all those things. And as I understand now, you're very consistent with everything, not only how you ride.
No.
You need to practice, you need to train, you need to whatever you do, but that also requires money. So
and time.
And time too as well. What kind of business do you run?
I have a business in automation of machinery.
Okay,
so we build like machine, we rebuild machines, we make them faster or slower or whatever the customer wants.
Yeah.
So
it's nothing you can like use for your riding?
Not for my riding, but I do the most of my own mechanic work on the bike.
Yeah,
and this is very nice because I can work with my hands.
Yeah.
And I know how it works. I can rebuild engines, and I can build my own bike. So I think it's good to have this, because if something's wrong with the bike, I think I'm able to feel it, you know.
Yeah.
Let's say for 90%, maybe the last 10% I need help with
Yeah.
from people who watch and things, but I think it's good, yeah.
You told Suka Suspension, is it a sponsor of yours or they just...
No, it's not. Well, to be honest, I'm not really sure. He's not really a sponsor, like it's not for free,
No.
but he gives me very good prices. So
Yeah.
let's say it's a little bit of a sponsor. Yeah.
Yeah. But do you think it would become easier for next season since you actually finished 7, I think, this year?
Yeah, no, 9th.
9th, okay.
But I think maybe, yeah. Well, I've got a few offers. Like I get my suits, I get the helmet, the boots, and everything. All these things help a lot, and it's still okay for next year.
Yeah.
So because the championship was only 5 races, well, in 5 races, this stuff is not broken or gone. So I have all these things already, so that helps me to have, like, if I each year I've got a certain amount of sponsor budget, and then if I don't need to use it on these things, I can use it on other things to try to get better, you know. So.
But if you have a wish, what kind of sponsor are you looking for now?
The thing what costs the most money is the tires, but so yeah, that's also a thing. So gasoline, tires, that would be the most. I think that the 2 things are the most expensive. Yeah.
Yeah.
And my own time, but you cannot find a sponsor for my time.
No.
So.
But you can maybe afford to employ someone.
Probably yes.
Yeah.
Things like this.
If you
Yeah.
have a good sponsor, you
Yeah.
can...
Yeah. For example. Yeah.
But how does it work with the World Championship? You just sign up, or do you have to... Is there any requirements, or...
I thought first there was like some requirements, but the requirement I had was only that Michael Dijkstra told the KNV, the Netherlands, that I had the talent to do it.
So you kind of need a
Some improvement, I think.
yeah.
And each country gets a few passes for riders who can join. So I think Netherlands has 1 or 2 spots. So
Yeah.
Mike wasn't competing anymore because he got a kid, and that's how I got in.
You don't have any kids yet?
Not yet, no.
That's why.
No.
Okay, you're approved. Okay. Would you like to tell the one who's watching this how much money you need for a season in the World Championship?
With the motorcycle with it, or
No,
yeah,
let's say if you have the bike, you have the gear.
yeah. Let's say that it's 5 races. Well, it was this year, so it were 5 races. You need to take 3 weeks off because it's 3 weeks in a row, so that's not easy. Or you need to buy plane tickets. So it's whatever you want to do, you know. But I think it probably costs around 6,000 to 8,000 euros. I think. Yeah.
Okay, for the whole season or per?
No, the season, only the World Championship. Let's say it like this. So there's 5 races of the World Championship. Yeah.
So 6,000 to 8,000.
So that's the gasoline, yes, the tires, the everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Lots of. Is there any other? I mean, it's FIM, and they have certain rules about. Did you have to change anything on your bike to be able to ride the World Championship?
Yes, you need to have a kill switch, of course, but it's always in flat track. But what I didn't know was I had the buttons of the injection and the what's it called, launch control with the starts, but you cannot use it, and the button cannot be there. So I needed to put it behind my front fender or the number plate, and of course the rest is just the flat track things. But I don't know.
No,
They've got like,
if you compare it to like this, like Krowdrace and the World Championship.
there's like a few things
Yeah.
that you can and cannot have, like for example the buttons, and they look for sharp edges, They want you to have, where the bike drops coolant. They want you to put a little can there, but they got like a full regulations. It's like this thick, and that's where you can find it all. But they will do a technical check every race, and every time this is somebody else, so they will always say this and this little thing, and it's always small things, But I think 90% is okay if you compare it to this race, for example. But they've got small things.
How does it work with tires and stuff? Can you use as many tires as you like during
Yes,
the race?
you can use as much tires and wheels as you like, but you cannot cut your tires, so you cannot make anything different on the stock tire. So if you buy a Maxxis, you should leave it the Maxxis. You cannot cut it. If it's done, you could probably fix the tire again to make it last longer, but that's not allowed.
Okay.
So tires are just, you have a Dunlop Maxxis meters, doesn't matter. You cannot do anything on the rubber as it comes out of the stock.
Can you use like tire heaters or?
Yes.
You can do that?
That's possible.
Okay.
And like we use air in the tires, you can put in whatever you want. That doesn't matter.
But what about the sound? I mean, it's FIM, I guess.
The sound?
Yeah.
The ref limiter. Yeah. We have like a check. I think it was 3 times this year from out of the 5 races. So they check the sound. Yes, it's on a 2-meter measurement. So you put your bike somewhere on a stand, and there's 2 meters behind your exhaust in a certain angle. They've got what's the name? Yeah, meter. Yeah. So and then they just check it. You have to hold your clutch, put it wide open.
Okay.
So there were actually guys that had too much sound, and they need to change the exhaust. Yeah.
But you were okay.
I were okay with 2 different exhausts actually. Yeah.
But, I won't keep you much more, but I already know that you're going next year. But how do you prepare for this during the winter? Are you riding anything or?
I take some time off now because it's just finished. After this race of this weekend, I take maybe a month off, I think, just to make it, a clear start again.
Yeah.
Then I start with my fitness. I go for some runs, do some powerlifting, and if I can, but I need to have the possibility, I will do some motor trainings. But that's also a thing that's not easy, because in the Netherlands or in Belgium, there's not too much tracks. That there are not too much tracks anyway, and in the winter they're not open.
But then we have a great idea for you, I think. We from Scandinavia, we have
ice racing. Yes, I saw that.
You should come to Scandinavia and practice.
Yeah, but then I need to buy things to do that too.
You can just screw some.
Maybe I can.
Thin spikes in.
Maybe that's a good idea.
Yeah.
For example, that would be a good preparation here, because it's maybe like a different sport, but it comes close to flat track, I think.
I think so too. I think in the States they're using those. It's like it's not spikes really. It's just
I know
like
what you
a
mean.
screw,
Yes,
yeah. And you can even slide with it. So maybe that's what we're looking for in Scandinavia as well. Isako here. Okay, Menno, thank you so much for joining us for this interview. And now we got Saku Puutila from Finland here, and he's actually, I think, the biggest hope of Scandinavia at the moment. He's young and he's a very talented and hardworking rider. So, Saku, Menno has been doing 2 World Championships, and I actually know or believe that that's one of your goals.
Yeah.
What do you think is the most important stuff to ask Menno now when he's has 2 years of experience?
What I need to get in the World Championship? What I need to get in here?
Well, actually, I think today you looked very good on the bike. The bike's good, and you look very consistent. what I think you need is like more experience. Like I had in the beginning was, you know, to be. What I think to be a good flat track racer is to be consistent and don't make any mistake. And that's very hard, but that's something that you get when you train a lot and work hard for it. But I think you go pretty well on this. So
Yeah, thank you.
you're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And we wish you the best for next season.
Thank you very
And
much.
lots of sponsors.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
Thank you.